Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are doing great. My name is Zafar and I'm here with one of the recently launched series of our channel named CXO Speaks. CXO is a common term to refer to the people or the corporates working in the top management. We call them CXO because their position starts with C and ends with O. So kind of CEO, CMO, which is called as Chief Marketing Officer, CHRO, Chief Human Resource Officer, and so on. This initiative is to help students and fresh graduates. If you are a student in the last year, or if you are a student just going into the last year, or you have just been graduated for and have an industry experience of less than 3 years, this video will definitely help you to make proper decisions in your life, in your career, in this crisis. All the questions and answers are more relevant or according to the current crisis that is going on, the lockdown, and how a student or a freshly graduate should cope up with that. So stay tuned to the last of this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also hit the bell icon so that you'll get all the updates. Okay, so today I interacted with Awantika Bhardwaj. She is Vice President, which is equivalent to the CHRO's Chief Human Resource Officer. She works at Abjuva. Abjuva is a company works in AI and ML integration. They specifically work in the retail industry, how the retail stores can help consumers and their analyze their behavior and accordingly change their strategies based with the algorithms of AI and ML. It's a really good. They are doing really good in this industry. So if you are an AI and ML enthusiast or passionate, and if you haven't heard of this company, please revise your facts first of all. She has also worked with really good companies prior to this Abjuba. She worked with Thomas Thomas Cook, which is one of the most, I would say, one of the oldest company in the tours and travel sector. They recently went bankrupt. Another one is Oracle. Everybody knows about Oracle. She has worked in their financial services department. Also, ITC, again one of the prestigious brand of India. She has worked there into their HR department. She worked with Infosys by Narayan Murthy, again second largest IT company in India. Sintel, another competitor for the Infosys as well. So she has a really good work experience in the human resource. So you should listen to her. If you're even if you're not an enthusiast in AI and ML, she'll give you she is going to reveal some important facts about how your career should be. Being in HR department for many years, she knows it better. So watch till the end of this video.
There are changes required, so that's the primary important thing right now, because we none of us were prepared for pandemic, and it happened. When it happened, certain things were predictable, right? Because human to human transmission definitely said that less people will travel, so this was expected, right? But whether economy will have to take so much of hit, and hence financial services will have a hit or not, nobody knew. Right now things look stable, and those are changing. Earlier those were they before pandemic days, things used to change really like maybe a month or something. Right now things are changing on a daily basis. So today it is one scenario and the next day is another, so the decision making right now is very important when it comes to customers, when it comes to the employees. Because say for example, if you look at my company, we always had work from home, Zafar, and it was never a challenge even when the pandemic started, because for us it was like always given, right? We never had to think when to start, how to start, and all that. But there were sectors where work from home wasn't a given thing, for example manufacturing. Yet either you have to allow people or request them to come because it's an essential service, or it is, it's like medicines and pharma, right? Those things cannot shut despite being pandemic, because that's helping pandemic, that's my basic need as a human being, right? So very difficult time for decision makers in terms of how to engage with these employees, how to keep them, keep them coming to work despite the fact that they might get infected, right? You have to be very careful about their health, wellness, and at the same time giving them those opportunities which they have to. So for me, primary thing is taking care of business related decisions and employees. But there are many other factors, like I talked about work from home. So you would say, okay, infrastructure, IT that is required because you need that infrastructure set up at home for people and all that. It could be location, region, culture, for example, which city you are in, what kind of other options are available if this industry shuts down and all that. So there are hundreds of things, but for me, primary two things: taking the right decision at the right time for the business, identifying right business streams and picking up those, uh, taking immediate calls, etc., and then employ. So these are two primary things from my side.
Okay, that's really important that you have already your work culture is more of a work from home prior to
Yes.
this. So you didn't face the trouble of this transition, but most of the companies have already facing many issues with the, especially the trust issues between the employer and the employees, whether they are working or not, they're sleeping or not. Something that's
Yes.
going on now, obviously.
Yes,
So
totally. There are a lot of talks in the industry about what is going to be measuring a performance for anybody. But for us, it is not an issue because barring one or max of two customers, everybody else had that flexibility already in the system. So the interaction between managers and the employees were already clear. They knew that my person will work from home on a given day, right? It was part of the system, so they knew how to get that work done, how to measure that there is an output. And moreover, I will add a little bit here, Zafar, in terms of the kind of company that I represent. It's a very young company. The average age is about 30 years, and this generation needs that flexibility. So it was given, right? It was given that you will have to have that flexibility, and then it served in our favor when pandemic came our way.
absolutely, absolutely. It has really greatly favored you in that part. So the next thing is, I would say there's one important question that I would like to ask you, because most of the students in the last 2 or 3, I would say last 3 or 4 years, have changed their
Hmm.
the career path to the AI and ML, just because the
Okay.
industry was talking about it, the industry revolution was going on, and everybody wanted to do that. And I have seen
Hmm.
a lot of students have changed their, maybe they wanted to do the business MBA, or they just started working as a data analyst in some company. So and
Correct.
right now students in the last year, or they have just completed their last year. So how do
Hmm.
you would you like to address these students about this new situation? And one more thing I would like to add here is, uh, deploying the AI and ML system in any business is a costly function, that
Hmm.
businesses have to put a lot of money into that to get that set
Yes.
up all the things. So right, the due to the crisis, everybody is on the cost cutting. So I think that there is going to be a downfall in the demand of the AI and ML due to the costing, and it definitely going to affect the job scenario as well. So how would you suggest? I mean, give opinion about it.
Okay, so I'll take this question in two parts. One is that is AI and ML, something which all the students must look at or something like that. So that could be the first question. And second one, we will take whether there is going to be a cost hit when it comes to these technologies. So as far as the students are concerned, I think. Yes, a lot of students are going towards doing certifications in analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or various other combinations, right? Computer vision, deep learning, these are very, very in things and buzzwords. Now, I would say that if you are doing that in the stream, this is perfect, right? Because that's what industry is heading to. So this is not going to go away for some more time to come. And in fact, the industry which was predicting it to happen in a far-fetched future actually is wanting to do it right now. So there are a lot of companies in my network who had long-term plans in delivering some of the solutions which were related to chatbots, artificial intelligence, automation, digitization, and all that. So these were long-term plans for them, like in next 2 years kinds. They actually did that in 2 weeks. Okay, because of the need, right? So pandemic really made the speed of the technology, made the speed of that progress much much faster, and it actually made it important for the industries to do it. So if there are students who are doing even on their own. For example, I totally understand that there are a lot of colleges in India who do not provide. So I visited, say, last year for campus, right? And we were hiring for data science, we were hiring for big data and engineering services. And when we went to the colleges, they had just started, for example, working on data science projects or AI and ML. It wasn't a full-fledged curriculum, I would say, right? So it is not 100% part of the integrated curriculum for a lot of colleges. And I would say that if you are doing it as an additional course for yourself, like one another technical certification, one another investment from your side on your career, I think that's the right thing to do. I wouldn't say that everybody has to get into AI and ML because there aren't so many jobs also. So just take a call. My point is that one must look at what is the strength of the person. So if I'm not an analytics person, right, then I must not get into it. So that's the first call. If I am not a person who loves modeling, then I should not get into data science. It's not that industry is heading, so one has to 100% move into it. One must identify the strengths of they themselves and then excel in that area. But yes, the industry is going to really thrive towards AI, ML, deep learning, computer vision, and these kind of technologies. And trust me, um, there are a lot of people who are saying that they know the thing, but actually they are not there. Okay, because of the lack of real time projects, or deploying those projects to the customer, they're not there. So you still have a lot of scope in terms of building that as your strength, calling it out separately if you really have a flair for it. And if you don't have it, then there can be many other things, right? I mean, right now work from home jobs related to all sorts of functions are coming up in a big way. And so there are various opportunities that are popping up in many other areas because of the costs remodeling, reinventing of the whole of the organization, restructuring, etc. And hence there'll be plenty of jobs in future. So that's what I would say to these students. If you are an AI ML, very good. If you're not, just figure out the right thing for yourself, figure out how the industry is panning, and then look at how you want to move ahead.
Totally, that students should already into it, they shouldn't they not they should not fear about this crisis, and they should tap the exact opportunity that they need.
Yes,
And most of the students,
definitely.
what they're doing, they think that they know everything about the AI ML, and they're like into the bubble. I just really want to burst this bubble of the students, because I have seen people are not really understanding the impact that this crisis is going to leave after this after the lockdown. And your words will
Hmm.
definitely matter, because you telling them is important because you work in this industry. Apart from that, you
Right.
closely work with the employee success. I mean, maybe it is related to the human resource strategies as well. So how do you think that
Yes.
the this industry, how they are going to change their human resource strategies, maybe regarding the hiring, or maybe the laying of the employees? What do you think in this particular industry, AI and ML, how people are changing, how companies are changing?
Yeah, so let's first finish the first topic, which is it that companies are going to reduce on the budget for AI and ML strategies? So I don't foresee that, because you would see that there are a lot of industries who are actually speeding up. Okay, I said earlier also that there were companies who had long term plans of implementing AI ML, and now they have speeded up. So if you look at even other sectors, like for example, if you look at the example of drone getting used to check the whole area when there was a pandemic hit in that particular area, and somebody wanted to really check whether the spread, or people are, how people are, is there a discipline in the area, how people are keeping up, are there large gatherings or something. So the drones got used. The robo cops are in use, where robotics has taken place of cops on the streets. And then there are a lot of support system in hospitals in use, where robots are actually helping the patients. So this is already happening in the industry, and a lot of companies will invest in this area. My reading is that the budget for AI, ML, robotics, digitization is going to go up. Okay, and that's the need. If you look at, I mean, the virtual world is going to stay for at least a longer period, like at least 1 year from here on. We are not traveling anywhere for at least 8 to 9 months, right? So if we are sitting in home, we need a lot of automation, a lot of digitization, a lot of robotics, and then because of this human to human transmission, the need for robots will go up, right? Unless really we figure out a vaccine and all that. So that's going to happen now. Hiring, I would say hiring is full swing at the moment. Yes, there was a delay in the initial phase when the pandemic started. A lot of companies, including mine, had to really decide which was a critical position and then only hire. And of course, the budget was the reason. So I wouldn't say cost cutting, Zafar. I would say cost saving, because everybody was wanting to see the future, predict something about it, and then take the action. So that's what happened. Industry took a pause and said, okay, let's take only which is really really critical and important. And that happened in many other areas, like for example training programs. So we said we'll do certifications which are really required, because that is a need for delivering the work to the customer. Other things, for example, if it was any other certification which wasn't really participating in the active business piece, then we stalled it. Okay, we didn't say we are going to close it, but we said let's park it and evaluate when the need comes. So that's happening in the industry. Companies are investing it, things are going to go up, hiring is up. And the good part which happened is there are a lot of exclusive work from home jobs and roles have come in. It'll be really good for there are a lot of people, say women who were on break, or students who always wanted to have a career in the company of their desired, not being in that city or zone. I think a lot of things like those will get solved with work from home concept coming in, and the technology playing a large part of it. And I think industry is not going to slow down. Maybe in another month or so you'll again see a upswing on hiring and a lot of roles coming in.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, as you said, that the AI and ML industry is not going to go down because there's a need, and if there is a need and demand, that people are going to, supply will be there. So apart from
Yeah.
that, now mostly we have spoken about the students in the AI and ML interest, but also apart from that, you have this lifelong experience in different roles and all the things. So would you like to suggest anything to the students who are currently into the last year, or who just graduated from the colleges? Anything that would like to suggest to them?
Sure. So my only thing to them will be that the competition space is really changed. Okay, lot of other factors which used to play a pivotal role when you were appearing for campus. Say for example your physical appearance, right? How do you conduct yourself? How do you get into a room? How do you greet the other person? Is all virtual now, right? And we might just think that okay, I'm at home, so how does that change? But it does, because the messaging that goes across when you're face to face versus the messaging that goes across when you're in a virtual world is entirely different. And you will find a lot of research in the industry right now for last 2 months of pandemic period where they are actually saying that there have been confusions, right? In terms of communication, when somebody tried to share the idea or delegation of the work across to the other side, it being a virtual world, the message didn't go in the way that was expected. And that will be a bigger thing. So how do you conduct yourself in the virtual world, right? How do you make your own communication as the strongest point of yourself? Because now it's not only English, right? It is about clear idea, it is about innovation and creativity, it is about selling yourself, all the more in the virtual world when everybody is virtual, right? So what will speak good for you? Definitely a very very good resume. So figure out, there are a lot of ways. So I tell you, Zafar, when I go to campus and the resumes are really bland, they just talk about the name, the college, the contact details, etc. I'm not impressed. Okay, but if there is a visual resume which has got the whole history in the form of a chart, or what's your vision in the form of a picture, or the brands that you took, like as part of your internship, or possibly you went out and did a free of cost product making for a startup, right? And then you use that logo to say, I did a certification here. Maybe it was free of cost, okay, but you did that, and then you made a beautiful looking visual resume out of it. And in the digitization piece, it will become all the more good, because then you can put links which will take you back to the website of that company, or you can put white papers in the digital space, and put the link as a publication of yours, and talk about, hey, this is my research, this is my analysis of the whole situation or a topic or a present. Then it'll add value. Okay, so the virtual world is not about this face to face conversations offer. It is much more. It is that resume which actually takes back to many other things which you can prove for yourself by using technology to your benefit. And this will apply to anybody, right? For this, I don't have to be an AI or ML engineer, or anybody. I can be an MBA, I can be a BCom graduate. But if my resume speaks volume and equality, if my ideas and thought process are clear over a virtual communication like this, then I will come across as someone who's really wanted by the organization, because that's the hour of the need.
Absolutely, ma'am. That it is very important, and maybe the resume idea that you have just shared, it is going to happen in the recent. I also believe in that particular thing, that you have to show a portfolio in the digital manner, because you can put links and
Yes.
everything that you can. Also, the person who is taking the interview has the liberty to just check it out right away. They don't have to, go.
Absolutely.
If you write a link on the paper, you can't just any no one can verify that you have to type
Yes.
the entire link and everything. So that's a really great idea, and it is going to industry is going to adopt that, and everything.
Yes.
And thank you so
A
much,
lot of
ma'am.
things are
Yeah,
actually becoming, sorry, one last point, because a lot of things are online, assessments are happening. I think visual resumes are way to go. Both of us agreed to it, and the links and the submissions that I talked about will play a very vital role in anybody's life, students or otherwise. I even foresee it for laterals.
absolutely, ma'am. Definitely, it is going to see a good future of that. And thank you so much for coming to this platform and taking
No
your valuable
problems.
time in this crisis. Everybody is hustling to get their business, back to the normal, and people are trying to take their time to just, interact. That's really nice of you, and thank
Right.
you so much for that.
Sure, Zafar. Thank you to you for arranging this, and all the best to all the students who watch your channel for their fruitful career ahead. I wish them luck.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a good day.
See you then. You too have a good time. Bye bye.
Bye.
I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for more such videos. We are going to get more CXOs on board for this particular series, and you are going to get very valuable content out of it. The most of the questions and the answers are related to the crisis that is going on, the lockdown, and how it is going to affect your job, how it is going to affect your career. So stay tuned for this. Click the subscribe button. Do hit the bell icons to get all the notifications. Thank you so much.